Hello everyone, I'm Linda V. Taylor and this is Best of Both Worlds. Today I am working on a previously hand quilted quilt but adding a new back, so stay tuned. This quilt is about 50 years old. It was a client's mother's quilt and she gave it to her, but the backing was all worn out. It was just a cotton flannel and it had big rips in it. The batting was still intact. So she wanted to put black minky on the back. And I said, no problem, but I don't want to stitch over that hand quilting, so I'll have to make some other extra designs just to tack the back. So let's get started. This might happen to you. So I have the minky as the lining, and of course I don't need batting. This is the underside of this old quilt. It's got tricot on the front, and there were lots of places on this flannel that were worn out, ripped, and really irreparable. So, but it already has batting in it, so we're good there. I'm working on the Elevate, and I have it in constant because it seems to move so well for me in that. And I'm just stitching on the inside of the binding. So I just come along like this and stop each time and like that. And then I'll swing around here. So this is completely sewn down to the minky, but it needs a little bit more tacking than that. So let me show you what I did, what my ideas were. I didn't want to upset any of the hand quilting because that's so precious to her daughter, and she's given this quilt to her daughter. So I'm leaving that. I'm just adding a few other little designs. Let me just go ahead and finish this. I decided around the outside of the border, wherever there were two scallops that kind of came down like this, I made just like a fleur-de-lis. And very simple. Yeah, all of you can do this. It's just making a teardrop, making a curl toward the teardrop, reaching out, and then coming back, making one on the other side. So when we're finished with this, and you'll be able to see how these designs added to the quilt, because I didn't want to quilt on any of the hand quilting. I wanted to maybe add some other designs, and I had talked to her about that, and she was super good with that. Okay. The next thing I'm going to do is, you can see on some of these roses, there's just a hand quilting line like that. I'm going to just kind of echo those, make those just a little bit curved. And maybe down in this area, there would definitely be some shadow in here, so I'm going to put a couple of lines there. And what I found was, on these roses, some of them had this, and some of them, I think, got forgotten. So I added them where they were forgotten. In the corners, I found a really cute pattern. This quilt has lots of ribbons on it and flowers, obviously, roses. So I wanted to put this pattern in the corners. So I am just going to tell my machine, and I'm going to put the boundary in, adding a point. And that is the pattern that I want to use. It has that flower in the middle and the little bows. I guess they could be butterflies too, but I think they look like bows. So that's what I want to put in this corner. And I'm going to turn it a little bit here. It needs to rotate. Let's see, I think like this. And I also want to make it a little bit bigger. It doesn't have to fit exactly in that border because that's a rounded border. So I like that very much. I think when you do a quilt like this, what you have to be careful of is not to remake it, because I'm telling you, we could really remake them. And they would be gorgeous, but I don't think that's the point. The point is to stabilize it, to make it feel like new, and maybe add a few little modern touches, but just keep the rest of it intact. And I do have to tell you that people all the time will say to me, can you do this, can you do that? And my take on that has always been, yeah, let me try. And I am just amazed at the things that I've been able to do for people, that once I think about it and go for it, oh, look how pretty that is in each of the corners. Very nice. This turned out so nice. It wasn't a lot of quilting. It just added to the designs around it, and it is going to be precious for years to come. Thank you so much for joining me today. See you next time.